The Bible says Peter walked into the courtyard of the high priest, and Mark 14 verse 54 says he joined others by a fire there. Interesting to me, just as kind of a side point, he was ashamed to be seen with Christ, so he followed Him at a distance. But he evidently felt very comfortable with the enemies of Christ around that fire. But that was Peter. He was dealing with this cowardice. And because his fear had led him to be more comfortable around the enemies of Christ than with Jesus Himself, that comfort level with carnal, worldly people helped to contribute to his denial of Christ. And so we need to be careful. We need to be careful about the people that we surround ourselves with. Proverbs 6 verses 27 and 28 warns, "Can a man take fire into his bosom and his clothes not be burned? Can one walk on hot coals and his feet not be seared?" The point there is, you need to be careful, because whatever it is that you bring close to yourself may have and will have an effect on you. And if you bring fire close to you, it's going to burn your clothes. If we get comfy and cozy with the world, it can have an adverse effect on us. We cannot continually flirt with the world and walk away untouched. The Bible says evil companionships corrupt good morals. 1 Corinthians 15 verse number 33. And it's for that reason that John warns us about loving the world. We mentioned this text in passing, but consider it in its completeness. 1 John 2 verses 15 and following. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is of the world. And the world passes away, and the lusts thereof. But he that does the will of the Father abides forever. John gave a very strict and stern admonition. Do not love the world. Why? Because the world can influence you in the wrong direction. Just ask Peter. Peter became comfortable around those enemies of Christ in the courtyard. And so when approached about knowing Jesus, Peter said, I don't know Him. It was a lot more comfortable and a lot easier for Peter to deny knowing Jesus in that company than it would have been if he was standing right beside Jesus. And so his carnality, his closeness with the world helped to do him in. How often do we allow the ungodliness around us to influence us? How many times do our close associates, perhaps at work or at school or in our neighborhood, how often do we allow their influence to bring us down to a level of conduct that's unbecoming of a follower of Christ? Have we become more comfortable with those of the world than we are comfortable with being associated with Christ? That's an important question that you should ask yourself and answer honestly. And if you do, it may take you a long way in determining the kind of person that you are, whether or not you are acting more like Peter on this occasion than you should. Peter concludes his second letter, book of 2 Peter, with this warning: beware lest you fall from your own steadfastness. 2 Peter 3 verse 17. Peter was well qualified to speak on that topic because it had happened to him. He was overcome by conceit, by carelessness, by cowardice, and by carnality. Yet, Peter found forgiveness, thankfully, and so can you. If you will come to Christ in penitence, with faith in Him, repenting of your sins, confessing Him, being immersed in water for the forgiveness of your sins, you can be forgiven as well. Thank you for being on our program today, and don't go anywhere because I've got a free offer coming up now.
This is my daily prayer. God bless you, go with
I hope that you found today's lesson helpful, and to help you in your continued study, we'd like to offer you a free copy of today's lesson. Thankfully, members of Churches of Christ make these materials available to our viewers absolutely free of charge. All you have to do is contact us and let us know the name of the program that you'd like to have a copy of, and you can see today's program, the title on your screen, and let us know the format in which you'd like to have it. You can have the program in the form of a written transcript, an audio cassette tape, an audio CD, or a DVD. And you can have any of those formats, and again, it's free of charge. It won't cost you a thing. You can contact us in a number of ways. We have an 800 number that's a voicemail system where you can leave the pertinent information. The number is 800-819-2966. Or if you would like to email that request, our email address is requests@thetruthinlove.com, or you can go to our website, which is www.thetruthinlove.com, and our materials are available there. You can fill out an order form. Or if you want to send us a postcard or a letter, our mailing address is Post Office Box 865, Hurst, Texas, 76053. And again, we stress to you there is no cost or obligation. We just want you to have the material. We thank you for watching.
By temptation, often conquered men, has a sense of weakness, brought distress within. Christ will sanctify you if you claim His best. In the Holy Spirit He will give you rest. Come.